Have you ever had an experience where there was this quiet little urge, this little push inside directing you? That's your intuition speaking to you, but it's so much more than that. And what I found is that most people are ignoring it. I'm going to break down exactly what intuition is, why it matters more than you realize, and how developing your intuition can change the way you live, make decisions, and trust yourself, and why this is the foundation for all spiritual abilities, especially my favorite, which is manifestation. For those of you who have had experiences where you followed what you thought was an intuitive nudge only to fall flat, realizing it was fear or preconceived ideas getting in the way, I've got you covered. So make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you how you can tell whether it's actually your intuition or your logical mind creeping in or other factors such as anxiety or fear. Let's get started. So what is intuition? Intuition is inherently part of all of us. It's that deep connection, that through line of consciousness that is that interconnected web of all knowledge, all information. So this means that we are all connected. We are all part of the universe and we can tap in to that wisdom to get reliable guidance anytime we need it, anytime we want it, on big stuff or in little stuff in our lives. It helps us build this beautiful relationship with ourselves and the world around us, which I absolutely love. And a really simple way to think about your intuition as it's your own personal internal guidance system. It is a skill and ability that every single one of us has. We can learn how to use it. So we're all born with this, but through life, your everyday experiences, growing up, we start to lose it because life gets in the way. That's okay because we can get it back. So, what does intuition feel like? It is very subtle. It does show up for different people in different ways, but regardless of how it shows up for you, I'm going to show you how you can understand what those intuitive nudges are showing you and how they're showing up specifically for you. It's sometimes very fleeting. And if you're not trained in picking up your intuitive nudges, you are going to miss them because it is that subtle. It is that fleeting. It's like a quick flash that comes in through your mind, your senses, your emotions, your imagination. I used to think that my intuition was going to show up with a ghost in front of me telling me exactly what I needed to know. And I was so excited because there's no way to misinterpret someone standing in front of you telling you exactly what you need to know, but it doesn't work like that. For me, most of the time, it shows up in my imagination, like I said before, and I have to be really focused to be able to pick up on it. The more and more you start practicing with your intuition, the more you are going to hear and see and pick up on those things. And so that is why it's important to always be training, always be working with your intuition so you don't miss anything. So a well-trained eye is going to always pick up on those very subtle pieces of information. The other thing to know about intuition is that it comes in symbols. And symbols might be different for different people. So let's say a red apple shows up in my imagination. And for me, through working with my intuition, I know it means that I need to learn something new. But for someone else, that apple might be an indication of nutrition or something related to health. By working with your intuition, by training your intuition and understanding those symbols, you will learn what that all means and be able to put the symbols together to get and understand those intuitive messages very easily and very quickly. The best part about intuition is that every single one of us has it, even if you don't feel like you have it right now. When I was growing up, I made terrible decisions. I would make up signs that were telling me to go down this path, wanting a specific outcome. So going with the first choice in front of me. This is how I ended up in so many terrible relationships, including one that was highly abusive and got me nowhere. And it also got me into a few dead end jobs that weren't going to get me on my path of what I wanted to build in my life. And when my spiritual awakening first started over a decade ago, I started opening up and I started seeing people on Facebook and YouTube and all of these YouTube channels I was watching about spiritual awakening, about intuition, about spiritual abilities, all of these people were tuning into this knowledge, tuning into their abilities, and were able to know information about other people, about situations. And I was fascinated. I kept hearing that everybody had these abilities, but I had nothing. I would get quiet. I would meditate. I would do all of the steps that they said. I would ask the angels, ask God, and beg for these skills, and nothing happened. And I feel like I was so frustrated, and the frustration got the better of me. I almost gave up several times. I would sit there asking to be shown the answer, asking to be given direction, guidance. I was struggling so much in my marriage. I wanted guidance. I wanted wisdom. I wanted to understand what I needed to do. And nothing showed up for me at all. But at some point, I came back and I was determined to learn how to do this. I came across the right teachers. I came across the right books. And I came across the right groups to get intuitive experiences with some results to really understand what it takes to connect. For me, I needed a systematic methodology. I wasn't able to meditate and tap in. And after years of experience, I can tell you that when you have a method and you pair it with practice, that's how you get results. And that's why I'm here. So you don't have to go through the frustrations that I have been through. And I finally figured out what you do to spark that intuitive information instead of just waiting for intuition to randomly show up. And so when you ask a question to your intuition, you will get an answer, which was absolutely life changing for me. And with that, I was so excited to learn that you can push your fear and anxiety aside. And when you understand what it feels like when your intuition is speaking to you, you won't confuse that anxiety and fear anymore, but you'll only go forward with those intuitive hunches. So let's talk a little bit about anxiety and fear versus intuition. Intuition is calm and there is no emotion to it at all. It just shows up in your body. Now, sometimes when you are picking up an emotion, you will feel the emotion in your body comes from outside of you. And as you practice developing your intuition, you will learn what is your energy, your own real feelings, or somebody else's feelings that you're picking up on. And when you compare that with anxiety, it is loud. It comes with judgment. It comes with fear. There's sometimes an element of panic. And there's usually an emotion tied to it as well. So the more you tune into your intuition, the more you practice with it and work with it, the more you'll start learning, the less you will second guess yourself, the less time you'll spend in making decisions, and the clearer it will be for you to make those decisions. And you're going to see your life transform in a lot of different ways because the more aligned your life is going to feel. Intuition helps you make faster decisions. It will help you avoid people and situations that are energy draining, which is huge, especially for all of you empaths out there. It helps you say yes to what is aligned with your purpose. You trust yourself, even when everyone around you disagrees, doesn't see what you're saying in a situation, but you can move forward when you know your intuition has given you good guidance, has spoken up, and you are understanding exactly what it means. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. Having that internal compass that is guiding you, telling you exactly what you need to know, exactly where you need to be. And you can also pick up on other things for other people. Once you get good at using it, you can use it all day long in your life, whether it's very small decisions or information you need or really big ones. So for instance, like going to the grocery store and picking out which bunch of bananas is going to be the best. Which route should I take to pick up the kids from school? To really big ones like, should I leave the job that I've been at for 20 years or take this opportunity for a little bit less money, but for more opportunities and better potential growth in the future? That's a huge decision and a scary one to make. And so when you use your intuition, when you have that on your side, you can feel more confident going into that situation or turning it down without second guessing yourself. Let me give you an example. About 5 years ago, my boss came to me with a project to automate a particular task that our department was doing. Our department was spending about 2 hours a day on this particular task, and the ask was for me to figure out how to automate it or come up with a better process to improve it. I had a deadline that was given that was very tight, that was going to make me push all of my other work to the back burner. It was going to require all in for several weeks to be able to get this done, get this delivered on time, and do a good job with it. And I also had to work with a ton of other people to get it done. I knew I could do it, but my anxiety kicked in because I also had a ton of other projects on my plate. And in my logical mind, trying to work out how I could get this delivered without burdening other people with all these other tasks. So, first thing in my mind, when I have my logical mind turning and the fear stepping in, I had a couple options. I either could tell my boss I can't do the project in the time frame with budget that she gave me. I could start reassigning all my other work to my staff so I could focus on the project, or I could do nothing, right? And just see how it was going to play out and just try to juggle everything, turning my life upside down. So I took a step back and I decided to use my intuition. Asked my intuition to show me what I needed to know about this project. And my intuition told me to do nothing, which was really uncomfortable. My boss told me to do this. I had a deadline, and yet my intuition is telling me to do nothing. So I gave it a day. I slept on it. And when I came back in the morning the next day, I scheduled a meeting with my boss to discuss how I was going to approach this and get this delivered on time. I think this happened on a Monday, and I had the meeting with my boss on Tuesday, and I was dead set on listening to my intuition. I was going to have the meeting with my boss and ask for clarification. And Tuesday afternoon, I came back from lunch to an email from my boss telling me to hold, don't do anything on the project. There was an entire change in the organization structure that would take this task and make it a non-existent task that needed to be done, which I was like, thank God I listened to my intuition. I didn't reassign all my work. I didn't freak out the rest of the people I work with and starting to work and having conversations about changing our structure, changing all of these things that needed to change. This is a great example of intuition for the win because intuition sees what logic can't. That connects to my intuition was the single most important thing I've done for myself. It has changed my life in so many ways to the point where if I look back on the past 10 years from the start of my spiritual journey to where I am now, my life is almost unrecognizable. As I continue working with my intuition, I realize that it is the foundation for every single spiritual ability, including manifestation, which I already mentioned is my favorite. When we're talking manifestation, when we're talking about going out and getting what we want, intuition has to come first because you can't manifest without taking action, and you need to know the right action to take. And not only that, even backing it up before you get to the manifestation step, using your intuition helps you focus in on what is for your highest and best. And so before I even start on a new manifesting adventure, I always tap into my intuition first. And then the intuition paired with all of the other manifestation practices has 10x'd my ability to get what I want every single time. So if you're interested in continuing with me on this journey, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to walk you through all of the practical tools and tips you need to take your intuition to the next level. You can also grab your copy of my free ebook called Intuition Unlocked, and everything you need is in the description below. And I would love to hear from you. Make sure to put in the comments your experience that you've had working with your intuition. And another thing you may be experiencing right now is having difficulty with your family and friends and those around you in your life as you are walking this spiritual journey. So check this video out here to learn everything you need to know about how to navigate this difficult situation that happens for a lot of us.